My name is Luca Prasso. I'm a co-founder of Curious Hat. I'm very, very glad that a lot of people, amazing people before me, expressed some of the concepts that I'm going to try to convey with this talk. So I was trying to put the thinking contest. In 1982, I was drawing and making cartoons with this little Super 8 camera, and then discovered that with this little thing, I could do something much cooler. I can draw and create stuff on a computer. And it kind of defined, that moment defined my life. In '95, I joined a company here in the Valley that became later Dreamworks, and we work on some little-known movies. All the way to 2012, and kind of work behind the technology of many of these movies, creating this kind of experience for parents and kids that would sit in a kind of a passive way in front of a screen for 74 minutes. A few things happens in this 17 years span time, aside from these movies. In 2007, a small little company created this interesting device, and I took notice. I spent the money, and in 2009, Nadia and I produced an interesting product that is Noah. That changed my life for different reasons. In 2011, it was a double whammy. We got a Mini and the iPad on the same year. So that kind of signaled that we had to do something about it. I mean, there was some indication that there were things that we could do better in this space, both combining the kids and the hardware. So. With an ex-coworker from Dreamworks and my wife, we founded Curious Hat. The basic idea is to create a mobile playground for curious minds. So who are the curious minds? My son is going to hate me for this. Here's multitasking like his dad. But what is interesting thing when I start looking at him and his generation is that most likely he will never use a real keyboard in his life. But at the same time, the relationship they have with this technology is so amazing that we want to go beyond just sitting on a couch tapping. Those are mobile devices. They put it on the name. You know, they could go out with you in the real world, so the kids can be stimulated to create, to explore, and to build something and share it with the people that are the most important people around them. And, you know, parents like me and you. So one of the two fundamental ideas that we had behind our products were, first, engage the children with the real world around them. It's very, very important that we never lose sight of the real world. They could design amazing virtual world once they understand the real one. And the second thing is the real world is made of real people, like parents. So try to foster new interactions with the parents or with the grandparents, with the educators around them. So in conclusion, we are building a mobile playground for families. I should have got some water. Okay, I'm Italian, so I have to quote some famous Italians. Leonardo da Vinci said that I roamed the countryside searching for answers to things that I did not understand. That's very important. Like the solution to a lot of our questions, whether or not a small question, a simple question for our kids or for our bigger ones, are all around us. And mobile tools maybe are a way to explore, a tool for that. Thank you very much. Michael Galvin, in a book that I like a lot, defined the 7 principles that Leonardo da Vinci has, and curiosity that is in our company name is top there, but also the art and science. You know, art. Someone yesterday was saying STEAM and not STEM, and for me that's very important. Daniel on the Huffington Post, when I was describing some of our apps, says like we should consider the full circle of child development that encompass cognitive, social, emotional, and physical development when we design applications. And so iPaint was one of our first apps, and there are actually 4 of them. And we want to go beyond designing a painting app where the kids select the colors from a digital palette and that's it, and it sits there and it paints on the couch. We want the kids to walk around and look for colors and patterns and textures to complete the work of an artist that we pick for them. So that was the kind of connection. The camera is such a ubiquitous tool on every device. Why don't you use it to engage the kids with the real world? And the project also expanded into 4 so far apps where we engage different artists from around the world. Our past experience and network from Dreamworks help us to reach out to a lot of different ones. And we want also to provide the child a visual language that goes beyond the more traditional trend that there is in children's app. And that's something that I also noticed when we were working at Dreamworks or in Pixar, is that when you start developing a movie, you start with this amazing ideas, and then you start looking and listening, unfortunately, to a lot of testers, and you water down your product a lot. And that's amazingly frustrating for some of the games, from the designers. I need to drink, otherwise I'm going to stop. And so, for example, we engaged, an Italian artist, a Japanese, and a Canadian artist from
Canada.
Your time. Let's move on. The first app that we developed had a completely different look, and it's called Color Vacuum. It's about color theory and using again the camera to capture colors and invent games about colors. He didn't have any rules. It was supposed to be this kind of old machines that you had found in the attic, and together with your parents, you would create games. You would be stimulated to invent the rules of the game. It was like we are giving you a soccer ball, and you design the rules when you go to the field. And today I'm going to play 5-on-5 in this big field. Tomorrow I'm going to play completely different rules. It's completely open-ended. This is a short video that we used to launch. We invented this kind of a back character, Professor Vapori, that would design these machines to teach his kids about technology and art. And we wanted this to be this kind of character that 200 years ago met artists and scientists, and it was kind of a way for us to go into this work. I'm going to skip forward, so I don't know if I don't keep track of time. Flip is another interesting app that wanted to empower the kids to change the game. So it's a puzzle, that's its nature, but it doesn't come with any image to play the puzzle with. You have to take a picture to turn it into a puzzle. The only picture in the app, it will go away the first time you take a picture. So the kids are stimulated to figure out what is complicated for them to solve or to challenge someone else. If you take a picture of this audience, there are a lot of details, and when it turns into piles, it gets hard. But if I take a picture of something that is a little simpler to recognize, then I will gauge the complexity. And it was amazing to see how kids actually, after a few minutes, find the right balance. And also it became a conversations with the parents. They start challenging them. It says, oh, I took this picture, now it's my puzzle. It's not the Curious Hat puzzle or Disney puzzle. It's my puzzle challenging you. And Judith Robertson, that is a teacher and a blogger with this blog called I'm a Teacher, Get Me Outsider. Interesting, describe how Flip and Color Vacuums are taking this simple concept of a camera and taking a picture to create activities around them. And as a teacher, they're able to create a curriculum and activities to engage kids in the real world. One of the products that we're working on, I've been announcing this forever, but it's just I'm a bad programmer. It's Mapamundi. It empowered the kids to become a cartographer. The phone has a GPS. I can walk around. What if the kids can, instead of drawing maps like we did 20 years ago before Google Maps, in order to tell someone, oh, this is the place where you can get ice cream, or this is what I found around me. They actually walk around and drop this hand-drawn stickers. But you have to walk around. It's not a sticker app. You have to walk around. You see something. You see a funky guy with a hat and a mustache, or you see a fast car, and you draw your map of the world. This is your world. And I play. I mean, I take the kids to school, and I play with my son. And I have to honestly say, it's more a toka-boka user than a Curious Hat user. But as we play like let's count the number of traffic lights, or how many people on a bicycle, and it's a conversation. It goes beyond this app. It's a way that I can have a conversation with my kid. Then we start tackling storytelling, and Oren is amazing in the product that is working on. The importance of storytelling is kind of sum up for me in this is a quote from again one of the biggest children's books writers that we had in Italy. The storytelling is a way to describe to the kids the real world by sneaking in from the roof from a window instead of entering from the front door. And so what we did, we built this app where the kid scrolls up and down this world, but we broke the linear storytelling of a traditional book. If you go up, you discover connected drawings. If you go back on yourself, you never find the same drawing again. So it's a magical world that never starts and never ends. You can record your voice. You can find yourself narrating the story. You can decide the story that you want, or you can just use it to record your sound effects and then see what it looks like when you go back. What is interesting, and that's my son. Let me go back for a second here. What is interesting is the patterns that are emerging once we released the app a month ago. Like there's one parent with a 2 years old that records his voice, and just because he likes that it plays back when they stumbles on the drawings again. Or there is the parent that has a children with a speech impediment, and now that's the way the child can describe what he sees. Or just the storytellers that they want to tell stories. And so this we kind of market as an open-ended storytelling tool. But with all this effort in all the different directions, then comes the harsh reality. You get one of the reviewers that says, well, my daughter's in 7 and almost 5. They never fell for the app right away. But then comes the interesting part of the review. It says, together, we found that we can record together the sounds when we're happy about the story, and suddenly the app is this amazing tool. And so that tells me a couple of things. First, that as a designer, I fail miserably. Because I need to listen more, I need to fix and iterate on the app because it's not engaging enough so the kids open. But as a parent and I'm successful because I created an app that brings the kids together and with the parents and not separate them. There's definitely time for the parking lot, parking babysitting app, but what we are trying to explore is the opportunity to build the tools that brings the kids and the parents together. I mean, you're going for the game. I'm going for something that is more as an ongoing dialogue. So, as a parent, I think we have to work harder. We have to understand that it's convenient for us to buy, offer the iPad, and forget. But there is a little time throughout the day that we can do something with them meaningful. And whether or not it's through an app or through a real book or going to the zoo, that's the time that you have to dedicate to your kids. So Rita Pearson, a teacher in TED Talks, recently said every kid needs a champion, and there are a lot of teachers here, or yesterday there were a lot of teachers, but also a champion is in the house, and the parents and the grandparents. So for us, the next logical step is to develop a product that is a playground where the kids can do two important things: play and enjoy a lot of different activities. But more important, they can create. What's interesting is the shift from my past experience in making movies is that we are making movies that are passively consumed by our customers. And like in 1982, I was making cartoons with a Super 8 camera, and it took me a month to get the film back so I can showcase my animation to my parents. Now, these tools, these devices that we carry, are amazingly powerful, and they can create stuff. You can remix it, you can look around, you can record, you can observe and mix and recreate. You can not just consume content, you can use it and create it yourself. So the idea that we introduced with Flip, where the puzzle, it's in your control. You control the complexity and the visual complexity. We extend it to the whole playground. The kids can play activities of all different types of activities, but it can also create the content that the activity works on. But then we introduce the other variable, that is the parents and the adults into the picture. And we say, you know, I'm holding this device. I'm not with my kids are in school, but I'm using this all the time. I do all sorts of things. Don't kid yourself. You check your email, you check in, you post on Facebook and Instagram, you take pictures, you share your location and your sushi food and whatever. So don't you know that all these tiny habits that you already have, that you have and that you exploit throughout the day, are entry points to create content for your kids, for them to play. So in the playground, the adult, or any other adult, the grandparents, for example, I can take a simple picture. I can take a picture of you, and by the time the kid gets home and play, he plays with a puzzle, with the content that I created. Mm-hmm. If I record my position, that's a geography quiz or a math quiz for my kid. It's very personal. It's where Daddy was today, what Daddy did. My wife is going to kill me. It's where your meaningful figure in your life was, and so that becomes not just a puzzle. It goes beyond that. It becomes a spark of a conversation, and it's a lot of personal content, and that's very important. In this age, we can create content. We cannot just consume content coming from outside. And there's a lot of new type of interactions between inside the family household. So this is a very quick, again, my wife is a creative director, is going to hit me because I'm showing this a little too early, a month away from the release. But this is kind of the first thing that you see when you log in. There's only two things you can do. You can be a player, a curious player, or you can be a curious creator. You can create your own, or you can play. And if you're going to be a parent and you log in on the cloud account, but it's optional, now you can run the app on multiple devices, because not everybody is buying multiple devices to the family host, but that's the trend. And so now I can log in, and as a parent, I can create content for my kids, and the kids can play inside the playground. And the way it looks like this kind of a magic place where you have all sorts of activities, and we are not catering to one particular type of activities. We're really going in all sorts of directions, the same way we did for the apps that we released so far. And the same thing, we also connect to all the other apps that we have in our portfolio, the 9 apps that we have, so that we extend the shelf life of this app, but we also create new connections. We have the iPaint apps that creates pictures. The end product is a picture. But what if I can say, oh, I've done it, let me send it to the puzzle so I can solve it, or I go and challenge my dad with this other activity. And so now I create connections between different apps that I have on the store and I will put on the store for different reasons, and they all come together. So again, the 2 fundamental pillars for what we want to do: engage the kids with the real world and foster new interactions. That's our goal. Needs help from everybody because it's a shift in the industry and in the market of what they're trying to do, but someone has to do it. That's me. Thank you.